What's going on, guys? We're back once again. Hope you guys are having a fantastic day. We are going to be talking about Daredevil Season 3. Now, if you guys have not seen Season 3 of Daredevil, I do recommend you click it off so no spoilers, because I'm going to go into a lot of spoilers. I'm going to go into just a lot of different things that was revealed in this season, as well as my own thoughts of the seasons and what kind of things happen. I'm just going to kind of jump around and give you guys a census of what happened. So if you guys did not watch Marvel's Defenders, it does pick off after that, where Matt is surviving from the fall of the battle with Elektra, and he does get rescued. He tells someone to bring him to the church that's down in Hill's Kitchen, and of course the normal people that he knows does take care of him, between the priests that he grew up around as well as the nuns, and they nurse him back to health. And he also now thinks that he's lost his abilities, but after some time of healing, he does know that he just had to get a lot of blood out of his system, as well as his time to heal, because he had a lot of broken bones, a lot of internal bleeding, bruises, just you name it, it was in there. And then of course we see where finally gets up to where he wants to try to start fighting again, but he's not using the Daredevil suit. He's using the very first suit, the black one, which I'm not personally a fan of, but it is what it is. But other than that, we do see where the it does go on to Fisk, where he's been in prison for about 8-9 months, and then he does use the FBI to get out of there. What's really interesting is that he literally gets out of prison by going after the ones, so that way he can get out of prison by using the FBI to take down other crime lords, so he can rise to the top and still have them under his control. And once that does happen, he uses everything. He gets what he wants. He gets his own penthouse, but he still controls everything. He's controlling everybody with doing every single thing that he wants without anybody realizing it. And then you get this other character named Agent Mahoney. He is a good cop, but he has a wife and a son, and he does get under Wilson's thumb as well, which that's what costs him his life, literally. And then we get to see another character, which I will talk about here in a second. But you do see where Kingpin does come back, where throughout the entire season, you're wondering, okay, like, how's Fisk doing this? How's he keeping control of everybody? He gets so much on them. He corrupts the head of the FBI. He corrupts like about dozens of agents. Gets a lot of dirt on them. Either you do this, or I'm gonna kill your family, or something. And then he does get one certain FBI agent that nobody a lot of people would expect, but then we get introduced as one character, Benjamin Dex Poindexter, which aka will be Bullseye. You get to see his character kind of up. You go into his origin story about him having a borderline personality, always having a bad temper, having to have a constructed work environment. He loses his job. He's not able to talk to the girl he likes, and his only turning point is to go to Wilson Fisk, and he does end up turning into a bad guy, and he uses that to his advantage. And you see where the Wilson Fisk, he puts blame on Matt Murdock at first, and now he's on the run, and then he has Dexter impersonate Daredevil, and then now Daredevil's on the run, so they're using that suit. And of course you get to see a lot of the fights between, there's like 2 or 3 main fights between Dexter and of course Matt, the real Daredevil, and that was entertaining as well. And then we also get to see Karen's origin story a little bit. You get to see how she was in her own hometown. The reason why she doesn't talk about her family was because she used to sell and do drugs, and she got her brother killed one night when her and her boyfriend there was an issue between her and her boyfriend. And then also it gets revealed that she killed Wesley. It also gets revealed of her wanting to not really know what she wants to do, but she wants to be a good journalist. And then Fisk goes after her as well, so that's another issue. And of course we see Foggy. He's used to being a high level attorney, getting a lot of money. And then you just, this whole entire season, it just really consists around Matt, Karen, and Foggy trying to rebuild their relationship because of them finding out he's Daredevil, him leaving, and then Matt trying to push him away. and just he's had everybody, leave him at some point. So that's why he's always doing this. So that part, this with them, it was more like a rebuilding of friendship, and we also got to see where they were coming together to take down Fisk as well as everybody else. And then we also had a huge spoiler that happened where you get to see where Matt's training, but he also gets to find out that he, while he's training, the sister of the head nun, which who I think she was Sister Maggie, you get to find out that she is his mother, and it really just takes Matt over like a huge, overwhelming to where he did not know. And it goes into her origin story as well, of how she met his dad, where, she was about ready to take her vows, and she saw his dad, and she just fell in love with him, and then they had a kid, and she developed borderline depression, and she was not taking care of Matt, and then it left all up to his dad, and that's when the church was called. They took her back in, and they had to help her, and then she really regretted doing what she did, and it really affected Matt's character. And you get to see a little bit of development there as well. Him finding out, who his mother is. He's going to try to have a relationship with his mother at some point in the very last episode. You get to see where he finally accepts who he is, why he is the way he is, why he's blind, what happened to him, because he said that he did not believe in the things that God did. Because this is a lot about how if he was going to kill, if he was going to let his past define him, as well as also his decisions define him as well. So that was another big conclusion we had as well, that he finally did do it. You get to see that father, I can try to remember his name offhand, the head priest that led the church. He does die when there is a huge assault on the church while they are trying to hide Karen Page from the Kingpin. You get to see where the fake Daredevil, aka Bullseye, comes in, starts killing everybody, and he does kill the priest while he's trying to protect Karen. And then you see that fight between the real Daredevil and Bullseye, and then it really develops over this time. And then you get to finally know that Kingpin knows who Daredevil is, and you see at the very end of the episode where they're having this big fight between Daredevil, Bullseye, and Kingpin versus Bullseye, because Dexter does realize he was used by Kingpin. He does realize that after Matt finds out that the girl that Dexter liked was killed by Kingpin, just so Kingpin can get what he wanted from him. And he does lose his, he's unable to walk. So you do see at the very end of that episode where they're getting work done on him, and then he finally wakes up while they're doing work on him to, I guess, readjust his spine. So they're saying, apparently from what I read, that Bullseye will be coming. Also, you get to see where Kingpin as well as Matt Murdock did make a deal where he said that if you go after Foggy, you go after Karen, you go after anybody, then, I'm going to go after your wife, because Kingpin as well as Vanessa did get married in the last episode of the season. And he made a deal with him that he would not do that if Matt did not do that. So they do come to a conclusion. Wilson goes to jail. All the other FBI agents goes to jail after this big conclusion. Daredevil gets his name cleared. Matt gets his name cleared. And they all pretty much, between Karen, Foggy, as well as Matt, they want to work together again, but they don't know how. So they pretty much redo the business, as in saying Nelson, Murdock, and Page. And so now they're going to be redoing the business, all three of them together. And that's kind of how it's going to build up. Now, thoughts for the season? It was good, but it wasn't the best. I personally enjoyed season 2 more. I think because it had Punisher in there, it had Elektra in there as well. So I think that's the reason why I enjoyed it more. It was more of the suit too in there. Season 3 did not really get me as much as I thought it would. Season 3 was more of, I don't mind Kingpin, but I just prefer season 2. It was a good character. I'm gonna say this though. Every time I think of Kingpin now, I'm gonna be thinking of Vincent D'Onofrio, because he does such an amazing job as portraying Kingpin. Same thing with, of course, Charlie Cox as Daredevil. He is Daredevil to me. Also, we get to see just different characters that we did not see. Well, we got to know more of in this season, and I fully think that was a good thing that they did. Again, I'm not a big fan of the black suit that they had in this. I thought that I'm not a fan of it. I just prefer the Daredevil suit. And I know the reason why they did that was so that way if you just do story and Bullseye's character was interesting. I think that was the really first big origin story that Bullseye's ever had. So that was a big throwback to the character as well. The revelation of who Matt's mother was, that was interesting. Karen's origin, that was interesting. We got to see the rebuild of those three characters of friendship was interesting as well. But again, it wasn't. I mean, it wasn't the worst season, but it was a good season. But hopefully, it does get picked up for a fourth season, which it should, because they are saying that. I read that the character that played for Bullseye Wilson, he did say that Bullseye is coming very soon. So hopefully, we can see him in the next season. Hopefully, we'll be able to see more of the Daredevil that we know and love in the next season. Hope you guys are enjoying your day, though. If you guys are new to the channel, consider about subscribing. Links down below as normal. If you guys have still not seen the season, go check it out. It is worth watching. I do recommend it. It was great. It was entertaining. It was dramatic. So hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll be seeing you guys on the very next one.